What's good, gun family? Urban Gun Reviews, and today I just wanted to talk about the best home defense weapon. Alright, I'm gonna need y'all to bear with me. I'm fighting this cold. I know I sound terrible, but I need y'all to bear with me. Alright, we're gonna get through this. But when I talk about home defense weapons, there's many options, okay? And I'm not talking about knives in this video. I'm not talking about machetes. I'm not talking about grenades. I'm not talking about any of those. I'm talking about from the firearm perspective. All right. So the three main firearms, the three main platforms of firearms that most people think of is your pistol, your shotgun, and your rifle. Okay, and that's the three that I want to focus on. Now, in each one of those categories, there's like subcategories of where you can go. And disclaimer that this is not a proven fact for me. This is my opinion. This is off of things that I've read and the way that I kind of, do my thing. So I'm not saying that this is the gospel. If you have a difference of opinion, that's fine. If you think that what I'm saying is complete crap, that's fine too. Okay? I'm just giving you my opinion. This is a topic that I wanted to talk about, a conversation starter, in my opinion. So let's talk about which one, to me, would be the least that I would use. Okay? And that would be the rifle. All right, and why would the rifle be the least that I would use? And I think personally, in most situations, in a family home situation, that a rifle would overpenetrate most situations. Okay, so what I mean by overpenetrate is, let's say you got 3 bedrooms on whatever floor, don't matter. You got 3 bedrooms. So you hear your criminal, whoever, coming through your door, and you have your rifle and you want to shoot said criminal. All right. Now, behind said criminal is your children's room. So when we talk about overpenetration, you talk about you shooting that rifle and hitting your bad guy, but going through your bad guy and potentially hitting, hurting, killing one of your children. Okay? That's what you don't want. And one of the rules that everybody should know for firearm safety is know what's behind what you're shooting. All right? Know what's behind it. So you have to think overpenetration all the time. You have to think, hey, what's beyond this point? So that's why I say that the rifle, to me, being effective, because it will put down your bad guy, but it might also injure, maim, kill a family member or a neighbor. You know what I mean? We're talking high caliber rifles. We're talking your 223s, your 5.56s, your 308s, your 7.62 by 51s, 7.62 by 39, 6.5 Creedmoor, 300 Blackouts. We're talking all of those. So we're talking about potentially hitting your bad guy, which is the objective. You want to put down your bad guy, but going through your bad guy, possibly going into a family member's room, possibly penetrating through that room and going into a neighbor's house and hurting a neighbor, killing a neighbor. You want to think about those things. So that's why, as effective and as powerful and as good as the rifle is, I think that the rifle for home defense is a bad choice. All right. Not to say that, that you shouldn't or you can't absolutely use it. In my opinion, it's a bad choice. All right. So now we're moving on to the second option, which to me is my second favorite option, or my second least favorite option, whichever one you want to say, because it's in the middle of the three, and that's the shotgun. Now the shotgun, to me, is a good option, and it's a good option and a great option. I don't think that the shotgun is a bad option. I think that it mainly depends on the type of ammunition you're using. Alright, so with the shotgun, I want to focus on 12 gauge, because my shotgun knowledge is not the best. I tell y'all this all the time. I'm not the most knowledgeable person when it comes to shotguns, okay? But shotguns are very effective for home defense. But you have three type of ammunitions that you can use for a shotgun. You have birdshot, you have buck, and you have the slug. Okay, now birdshot is something that you see mainly in sports and in hunting, and you see it in there because birdshot is usually a bunch of little pellets. So if you're shooting clay pigeons, and you shoot that pigeon in the air and you shoot that birdshot, it's a bunch of small pellets dispersing. You know what I mean? So you got a whole bunch of small pellets dispersing to hit that target. So, not to say that the birdshot in home defense wouldn't be an option, but it might not be the most lethal options for our bad guy. So, if you use the birdshot, it's going to leave a whole lot of little holes, which will damage, the bad guy, but it also spreads. Now, as far as penetration goes, I don't think through concrete walls that your birdshot is going to go through a concrete wall. I might be wrong. Like I said, I'm not an expert on this. It's just my opinion. I don't think that it'll penetrate a concrete wall. I don't think birdshot will penetrate a drywall. It might, go into the wall. I don't know if it'll go through the wall. I'm not sure. If y'all feel that I'm wrong, correct me in the comments. All right. But to me, birdshot is the least of the my favorite options when it comes to shotgun shells. The second option is the buckshot. I like the buckshot because the buckshot you have about 8 to 9 bigger pellets, and they pack a punch. I like double-aught buck myself. To me, they just give you the maximum damage in a short burst. All right, so with the birdshot, you get this wide spread of pellets, to where the buckshot, you get a smaller burst and you're getting bigger pellets. So say like you had, this might be a bad analogy, but let's say a little, like the size of a nerd, all right, maybe a small nerd. That's your birdshot, to where your double-aught buck is maybe the size of, I can't even think of a good analogy to use, but the double-aught buck is just a bigger round, bigger pellet coming out of your shotgun. So that to me is better. Now, far as penetration goes, I don't know how far it will penetrate. I don't know if it'll penetrate, through your concrete walls, through your dry walls and stuff like that. But I know, it could penetrate through our bad guy, and I don't know, like I said, how far beyond our bad guy it will go. Now with the buckshot, you probably have to be a little closer in order, like if you're like 4 to 6 inches or 4 to 6 feet away, you'd have a better chance, to me, rather than being 10 feet away. 10 feet away, you got further distance for that to shoot out, and it's going to go like this. It's going to spread, to where if you're closer, it gives less opportunity to spread. All right. Shotgun's not really my thing, you know, but I respect the power that the shotgun brings. And the last one, last round for the shotgun is the slug. The slug essentially is one large piece of metal, all right, that's inside of a shotgun shell. Now, the slug of all three has the best distance because it's one solid piece. So you don't have to worry about the spread. You don't have to worry about any of that. You're going to be able to shoot it, and it's going to, you know, go further because you have one solid piece. But my thing is, if we're shooting for self-defense, what's the self-defense range? I think it's, what, 7 to 10 feet? You know, something like that. So, yeah, it's going to work. It's going to be effective. Again, I don't know about overpenetration or anything like that, so I can't say, hey, it's going to penetrate through our bad guy. But I would imagine if you hit our bad guy with a slug, he's going to have a bad day. All right. But the same with the double-aught buck. I believe if you hit our bad guy from a nice range and inside that 7-foot range, our bad guy's going to have a bad day. All right. To where the bird shot, you know, he still gonna have a bad day. He still got shot, but you got that spread to where, you know, your damage might be minimized because you got so many small pellets who yeah, they still cause damage, but not, you know, it's not gonna give you that big hole or that power. This is where it's gonna be like, hey, I put him down with that bird shot, you know. But a lot of times when you hit that that might stop your bad guy in general. Just that sound alone, you know, that sound has been known to end wars just by itself. But the last firearm that I wanted to talk about, to me, is the most effective. Well, is the best of all three options. That's your pistol. Now, your pistol, you have many different rounds that you can use. We're just gonna focus on 3 of them. Okay, we're gonna focus on the 9mm, the 40 caliber, and the 45. Most people, like myself, used to believe back in the day when I first, you know, got my first firearm, I believed the bigger, the better. So the bigger the bullet, the better the bullet is, right? The better the gun is, the better the bullet is, because if you had to shoot somebody, you know, you shoot somebody with a 4.5. You know, you like, hey, I got the bigger bullet, it's gonna stop you. That was my mentality. And to a degree, it's true, but it's kind of like true but not true. Because also it comes along with the bigger the better is the bigger the slower. And the bigger the more recoil. Alright? So if you don't know what recoil is, by any chance, recoil is when you shoot your gun and the muzzle rises. Okay, so with a 9mm, most firearm calibers, pistol calibers, you got recoil. Most guns in general, you have recoil. So with a 9mm, you might have minimum recoil depending on what type of round you're shooting. With the 40, you probably have more. With the 45, you have the most of those three, I believe. So with the 45, like you say, like you thought, like I used to think, is the bigger the better, but you got more recoil to think about, which can cause your secondary shot to you know, be off. You know, you shoot here the first shot, but your second shot, you know, your gun then went up here and you got to come back down and get back on target. So your second shot might not be as accurate as your first shot. That's your recoil. Also, the bullet is slower because it's bigger. All right, that's a 230 grain bullet coming out that 45 compared to a 180 grain bullet coming out that 40 and 115 grain coming out the 9mm. Now, me personally, I'm a big fan of the 9mm. 45 used to be the best round in the world to me. There was no round better than that. I still love the 45. I still love it. Still love the way it bang, love the way it feel, love the way it look, everything. All right, I love the 45. Shout out to 45 caliber, 45 ACP, 45 whatever. I like the 45. All right, but the 9mm to me can be just as effective, if not more effective, because we have what we call, you got target loads, you got defensive ammo, okay? So your defensive ammo is going to be your jacketed hollow points. It's going to be your hollow tips, your whatever Hornady makes, critical defenses, critical duties, whatever. You have these different, type of defensive ammos that kind of even the playing field. You know, so where you think you got this big 45 and you got this little 9, and you think, hey, this little 9 ain't gonna be able to hang out with this big 45. But no, you get that 45 that's a defensive round, could be just as powerful as that 45 and moving a lot faster with a lot less recoil. Alright, so you can get 147 grain, jacketed hollow points, defensive ammo, whatever you want to get, you can get those. And as far as penetration, as far as damage, you're going to get good results from those without having to give up speed and accuracy with the recoil. Not to mention the round count, which is a big thing. You know, if you got a house full of intruders, and let's say you got your trusty 1911, which holds what, 7-8 rounds, you think that's gonna do the job? Your 45 with 7-8 rounds? Let's even say you got a good old Glock. What, you got 10-13 rounds? That gonna do what you need to do? Let's even say you got an FNX 45, 15 rounds. That gonna do the job? I don't know. Let's talk about your 45. I mean your 40. Your 40. Let's say you got a Glock 23. What they hold? 15 rounds. That gonna be enough? Now we talk about 9mm. We have standard 9mm mags that hold 17. So you got 3-4 mags. You got 60-something plus rounds. Let's say you got fun sticks, you got, some of them 30s. You got multiple rounds. You got a drum. You got multiple rounds. A big boy stuff. You could be shooting for days. So, in my opinion, I think that the 9mm is the best option because, I mean, and I'm not saying that even 40 and 45 you can't go defensive. You can't get defensive, you can't get hollow points. You can do that. But I just believe that, for most shooters, I think that the 9 would just be the best round. That's my round of choice. You know what I mean? So with all three of these options, with your rifle, with your shotgun, and with your pistol, all of them keep you in the game. They keep you in the fight. I just think that there's certain factors that you might want to check and think about before you pinpoint which one you really wanna use. The shotgun is a great option. The shotgun is you get maximum defense, you get minimum penetration in most times, over penetration, and it's probably the easiest to use. Load the shell in there and pump it in and you're good to go. Some rifles, they got safeties on them. I'm not saying shotguns don't. Shotguns got safeties on them too. But rifles, it might be a bigger learning curve. Same with pistols. Sometimes pistols just have a bigger learning curve. You gotta put your mag in. You gotta, cock back your firearm. Make sure the safety's not on. You gotta do more aiming. To where with a shotgun, you just kablooey. And whatever's in front of you might be disintegrated. But I just wanted to put that out in the atmosphere. If you feel that the information I gave was valid in any way, then you could let me know by clicking that thumbs up. If you're not subscribed to the channel, you can do that by clicking on my logo in the bottom right hand corner of the screen. Follow me on all my social media sites. All that information is in the description. And as always, gun family, stay blessed, stay strapped.